How are we doing, guys?
Is one of the traits of your defense this year that after they have a game where they don't tackle that well or give up more points than they're accustomed to, they usually respond that next game?
Well, you'd like to say that about all parts of our team. You learn from your experiences. You get better as a result of your experiences. We pride ourselves on being a good tackling team, and there's never been a game this year where we've tackled up to the standard that we want to tackle to. So that's always an area that you're trying to improve, and that's a week-to-week proposition. Really, it's a play-by-play proposition in this league. So it'll be a great challenge for us this weekend.
What's Tyron Crawford meant to what you guys have done stopping the run this season?
He's just a really good player, and we've talked about him a lot in terms of his versatility on our team, his ability to play a lot of different spots for us, his productivity. Some people say it's quiet production. We don't really see it that way. I mean, he does his job really play in and play out as well as anybody we have on our football team, and he's a great leader. Sets the pace for everybody in practice and plays the game the right way. So certainly someone who's had a big impact on our team.
Tavon's limited this week with his groin. Is that something he did during the game or practice?
He played in the ball game, and he hadn't played in the game in a while, so he came out of it. And like with a lot of guys, you feel the after effects of a game. I think he only played 15 or so snaps, but hadn't really cut it loose quite yet. He's doing better and better. We'll see how he does in practice today, but certainly optimistic about him for the weekend.
Suafilo do anything today, or is he still?
If he does, it'll be limited.
We've talked about that with you a million times, but you got guys like Tyron and Zach who maybe they don't need 3 days of practice as much as other guys. With Xavier and Connor, how do you balance that? What's that conversation like when one guy can practice and one guy can't?
Well, obviously you practice the guy who can practice, and you try to get him ready. The guy who can't practice, you try to get him ready in other ways. Obviously being engaged in meetings, if they can walk through, that certainly is helpful. Given that they can't go full speed in practice. I do think a guy being a veteran, a guy who's played in games, I think he's more able to handle limited work in practice and still be able to be functional in a ball game. So you handle it case by case. You try to get each of them ready as best you can, then you make your best decision.
Has Suafilo been able to go through the walkthroughs this week?
He's not been really active in the walkthroughs. Really spending most of his time on getting his ankle treated.
With Connor Williams, it appears he's playing better since he kind of went out of the lineup. I don't know if it's a fair statement, and then if it is, where do you see the improvement? I mean, sometimes you see where guys step back a minute and they go, kind of grasp it a little, they come back in, they become, I won't say a different player, but a little bit better.
I just think he's one of those guys who learns from his experiences. When he was playing, you saw him get better week by week, and that's really what you're looking for from guys, particularly young guys. It's a hard league to transition into. And, things aren't going to go really well for you. Do you keep coming back? Do you keep growing and learning from those experiences? When you do things well, can you repeat those? Can you build on those? And he's one of those guys. His approach is outstanding. He's a great kid. He loves ball, loves being around it. He's in a great environment in that offensive line room, learning from those guys. And I think he's grown. And a little bit to your point, you grow, you get it taken away from you with an injury, and now you get a chance to kind of maybe even grow even more when you're watching from the side and come back with another different perspective. But, he's one of those guys who embraces every opportunity. He's improved day by day since we've gotten him.
With a guy like Travis who's now missed the full season, what is his benefit as a coaching standpoint going into the playoffs? Really
what it's been all year long. He's been off the charts. Think about what he's gone through physically, and has been at every meeting, every walkthrough. He lifts with the guys. He's around them really every minute of every day, and so engaged with our football team, and such a smart football player, and someone who's really helped the younger guys who are playing, the newer guys who are playing. He's right there. It's not like, hey, I'll see you guys in a couple days. I'm kind of in and out. That hasn't been his approach, and it's been really, really important to our team. Sean Lee was the same way when he was out on defense. The leadership that those guys have demonstrated may be as big a big factor as we've had on our team all year long. Just their engagement, what they've done for us, helping those young guys come along.
Where has Xavier Woods grown? And he had this physicality to him. He's obviously had a bunch of big hits here in the last month or so.
I just think in every way, you hear me say this a lot, but a young player who's getting a chance to play more and more, learning from his experiences. And, we really felt good about him when we drafted him. We felt like he had just a knack for playing the game the right way, an instinct, both in the running game and the passing game. We felt like he was a physical player, but I don't think there's any question that, he's continued to develop in that area. And he's made a number of big hits for us, impactful hits, along with the tackles he's made and the plays on the ball. And he grows every week. He learns from his experiences. You see him playing with more and more confidence and attacking situations that much more.
What do those hits do? What do they do to the other team? What do they do to your team?
Oh, I think it's important to be a physical football team in all aspects of your team, not just on the offense and defensive lines, on the edges, on offense, the tight ends, the receivers, the running back, the fullback. Our quarterback is a physical player. That makes an impression on the defense. And when you flip it over, it's the same thing. All three levels of defense, defensive line, linebackers, the back end guys. If you're physical, if you're a hard tackling team, that has a positive impact on what you're trying to get accomplished.
Tempo of practice in the playoff week, do you notice anything different, or what have you noticed from your team in practice this week?
Locked in, engaged, ready to go. Short week, but just grasped onto the fact that it was Wednesday on Tuesday and just went to work. And, whatever after effects anybody had physically from the ball game, kind of put it behind them and practiced the right way. Just locked in, ready to go, embracing each of the opportunities each step of the way.
To Todd's point, I know the stakes are higher, obviously, but is it actually easier to coach this week because you don't have to grab guys' attention? They know what this is about.
We have a pretty good group. We have a pretty motivated group, and they come to work every day, and I think that's been a really good thing for our team. Great leadership, some veteran guys who have been around here, understanding how we want to do things. They set the example, they set the pace for everybody, and the younger guys follow. And so that's the way we like to be each and every day, getting ready for these games that we play, and certainly no different this week. We all understand where we are, but you just want to go back to work and do what you need to do each step of the way to get ready to play our best game.
This game demands so much. Have you found that you talk about being physical all the time, that if you have that trait late in the season, that is harder? If you're not invested in that, if you're not that sort of team, it's harder to have late in the year just because of the grind wears you down. And does that give a team an edge, being that physical?
Well, it's a physical game, and any team that's playing this time of year, I would venture to say, is physical in some capacity. Hard to get through a 16-game NFL season if you're not. So I would argue that. But I do think the identity of teams show up over the course of the season, and particularly this time of year. Whatever team you are, in each phase of your team, what you aspire to have is that team to show up in the ball game, the best version of that team, and that's certainly what we're trying to do with our team.
Coach, the advantages and disadvantages of not having a bye week?
All of that stuff is out of your control. So the biggest thing we try to do is say, okay, what time's the game? Where's the game? Okay, here we go, and you go to work. And we've tried to do that with our team. We play typically a kind of a funny schedule all year long, a couple Thursday games. We play these night games. We play, quick weeks, long weeks, all that kind of stuff. So none of that stuff is under our control. So we try to instill in our team the idea that none of that matters. Whatever the situation is, handle it. So in this week, it was going to be a short week. So you get back to work. Hey, Tuesday is Wednesday. Get a good rest day, run and lift on Monday, and let's get after it. And our team has done a good job of that.
In your experience coaching, is it unusual to have a team this healthy in January?
Oh, I think every team is different. So you certainly try to keep your team healthy over the course of the year. There's some injuries that obviously you have no control over. Travis Frederick, for instance, a Pro Bowl player for us, has been out all year long. That's just the nature of it. So hopefully you built your team in such a way where you can put another guy in there and you can go. Joe Looney's done a fantastic job for us. So again, you want to make sure you keep them as healthy as you can, but you also want to make sure you have some guys you can plug in and you keep rolling down the road.
You mentioned Dak's physical nature. Given the fact that he has not missed a start, is that something that gets a little underrated about him, the fact that he's always available?
I don't know what's rated or overrated or underrated about him. I do know it's something that's greatly appreciated within our building. Tremendous respect by his teammates and his coaches for just who he is, week in and week out, day in and day out, and certainly availability and his toughness has a lot to do with that.
Murray was saying yesterday on plays like that game-winning drive at the Giants, Dak always just keeps believing. He says we're going to score, and that belief permeates throughout the locker room. How have you seen that?
I just think he's a tremendous leader and has been since the minute he walked in our doors. And a big part of that is getting guys to believe in him and believe in us and having that feeling be contagious throughout. And we've won a lot of close games this year. And he's done a lot of great things at the end of those ball games. And, I just think it's who he is. I think if you go back to high school, college, and really any game he's played for us, he's typically demonstrated those traits, and our team has followed him.
You said right after that game that you thought, off the top of your head, you thought that was as good of a play as you'd seen him make. After having watched that film and stepping back from the game, do you still feel that way?
Yeah, when you say as good of a play, I guess that means it's you haven't seen any better, right? There probably are some that were equally good, but it's hard to make that play in that moment. 4th and 15, running left, a guy breathing down your neck, and throw the ball where he threw it was pretty remarkable. Now, B's made a hell of a play on the other end of it. I mean, that was a big-time play. To make that catch and get your knee down, that's challenging stuff to pull off. It's hard to pull off in the backyard, let alone in that environment at that moment. So I would argue that there have been none better. You could probably argue that there's some that have been equal to that.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Good to see you.